When witches go riding and black cats are seen, the moon laughs and whispers, "'Tis near Halloween." The excitement of All Hallows Eve is in the ether. The atmosphere is charged by the sights, sounds, and fears that belong to the night. Silhouetted trees groaning in the wind, bats whipping overhead, fire-eyed cats jumping from nowhere, while witches chant round a bonfire beneath a buttery harvest moon that is suspended within the deep purple sky of the night of All Hallows Eve. Celebrated every October 31st, Halloween has forever enchanted the mind and ensnared the senses. Although this holiday often conjures images of little ones donned in bedsheets going door to door pretending to be ghosts, issuing those three magic words, trick or treat, Halloween is a holiday that is overflowing with historical clout. Why do Americans carve jack-o'-lanterns in October when the air turns crisp? What is the historical purpose of trick-or-treating? Why, when, and where did Halloween exactly begin? These questions and more will be answered as we journey through the mystical and magical holiday that is Halloween. Every October 31st, Americans try to scare the daylights out of each other. The thrill of a titillating scare is not a new facet to the human race, nor is Halloween a newcomer on our calendars. Halloween is a marriage of fear and jubilation, which makes this a most vibrant holiday. According to Pomfrey, Halloween has long been the spookiest dates on our calendar, when tortured souls are supposed to walk the earth and evil spirits lurk in every corner. However, Halloween hasn't always been about carving pumpkins, trick-or-treating, or even bopping for apples. In fact, the real origins of Halloween can be traced back to old European religious festivals, traditions, and beliefs. In 2,000 years ago, the world had plenty of fear when the Celts of Northern Europe held their first celebration of Samhain. Samhain means the end of summer. Since the Celts only celebrated 2 seasons, summer and winter, Samhain marked not only the start of winter, but the celebration of harvest and the new year. On the night of October 31st, the Celts believed that the veil between the living and the dead was much more permeable. Therefore, it must have been deeply unnerving waiting for spirits to manifest right before your eyes. Nevertheless, Samhain inspired a clever means of self-preservation, camouflage. Celts, male and female alike, would don themselves as ghouls and ghosts to blend in with the real ones. These ghoulishly clad Celts would then hold parades out of their towns, hoping to lure the evil spirits from their homes. Meanwhile, Druid priests built fires for the sun, encouraging it to return the following summer. For good fortune, families would rebuild fires in their own homes with embers from the Druids' fires. On their way home, they would carry these embers in hollowed-out turnips with scary faces carved in them to prevent any evil spirits from interfering with their safe journey home. In the 1st century AD, the ancient Romans conquered the ancient Celts and ruled them until the 5th century AD. The Romans, as with the Celts, celebrated a harvest festival. On November 1st, the festival of Pomona was celebrated by the Romans. Pomona was originally thought of as the goddess of the orchards. Her celebration featured nuts, apples, and other orchard fruits. People laid out nuts and fruit for Pomona, thanking her for her bountiful harvest. Games, races, times of thanksgiving, and joy were all facets of Pomona's festival. Nevertheless, over time, Samhain merged with Pomona. Therefore, apples, nuts, and romance became part of Samhain customs, along with divination, fire, and spirit magic. Nevertheless, with the advent of Christianity and the Roman Empire, the traditions of Samhain and Pomona were about to undergo grotesque scrutiny. In the Middle Ages, the Roman Catholic Church competed with the holiday of Samhain, for they believed it to be pagan. Therefore, they wished to cleanse the pagans who engaged in the festival of Samhain. The Church launched a trio of Christian holidays called the Hallowmas. October 31st was All Hallows Eve, later shortened to Halloween. November 1st was All Saints' Day, and November 2nd was All Souls' Day, a day to honor non-saint Christians who had already departed. Holly Foster of Hamilton College states that during the Middle Ages of Europe, children celebrated by soul caking. Soul caking consisted of begging for tiny pastries door to door. In return for the pastries, the children promised to say a prayer for departed loved ones. This would help the loved ones to find their way out of purgatory and into heaven. The trick component of soul caking and donning costumes did not begin until the 16th or 17th century, when pranksters found that the spiritual element of All Soul Days was perfect for scaring people. Therefore, soul caking is the earliest form of trick-or-treating. Ironically, the Christian Church wanted to divert Samhain and instead only codified the holiday. As European immigrants traveled to the United States, they brought Halloween traditions with them. Nevertheless, due to rigid Protestant beliefs that characterized early America, Halloween was rather limited during colonial times. According to LeMay, during the 19th century, America was flooded with Irish immigrants fleeing their homeland due to the Great Potato Famine of 1846. This massive influx of Irish immigrants allowed Halloween to begin to take shape within the United States. Therefore, the Irish traditions such as jack-o'-lanterns took new shape as well. In Ireland, children carved turnips and lit them from the inside with a candle for their Halloween gatherings. This most familiar symbol has its origins not only in the festival of Samhain, but in the tale of one Irish reveler known as Stingy Jack. Stingy Jack was an unrepentant, too clever drunkard who was so evil that neither God nor the devil wanted him. However, in a rare moment of pity and respect for Jack, the devil cast him one ember from his inferno. Jack placed the ember in a hollowed-out turnip to light his way through his relentless limbo. When the Irish reached the shores of America, they discovered pumpkins were a suitable substitute for their turnips. Not only were pumpkins easier to carve, they made a much tastier pie. Therefore, perhaps hopefully since this Halloween tradition continues to ensue, maybe poor Stingy Jack will find a place to finally rest his lone ember. In Victorian Halloween in America, it was the perfect excuse to throw a theme party. The popular press spread quaint superstitious Halloween's past across the multifarious landscape of America, thus increasing the holiday's popularity. Divination, romance fortune-telling, parlor games, jack-o'-lanterns, and all manners of Halloween and harvest games were all the rage. The Victorians loved to tell ghost stories and believed it was possible to communicate with the spirit world. Ancient lore designated Halloween as the night where the spirits mingle with the living. Thus, the Victorians went to great lengths to welcome any supernatural visitor by making their homes look as haunted as possible. Nevertheless, eventually Halloween parties fell out of fashion with young adults, and the holiday was presented to its rightful heir, children. In modern America, Halloween is regarded as innocent and mysterious fun by adults and children alike. The sales of costumes, masks, and other Halloween items are at an all-time high. Halloween sales rank only second to the holiday of Christmas. Therefore, Halloween has certainly become a staple of American culture. There has been a strong recent resurgence of interest amongst adults in the holiday of Halloween, who see it as an opportunity to once a year be carefree and childlike. Although these symbols of the dead do not make sense to most modern Americans, the sanitized traditions associated with the holiday have become a staple. Halloween is a holiday that has an impressive historical record. It's a holiday that is over 2,000 years old and has seen numerous changes. Nevertheless, Halloween has stood the test of time. Things that go bump in the night will continue to rule Halloween. As Dexter Cozen once stated, shadows of 1,000 years rise again unseen. Voices whisper in the trees. Tonight is Halloween. Remarkably, Halloween continues to create a communion of spirits not unlike that of the ancient Celts. However, the spirits of today come in the form of Julius Caesar, Hannah Montana, and even Elvis. Nevertheless, Halloween holds firm to its roots in the unknown and facing fears which lurk in the dark, murky shadows. As with the Celts in the festival of Samhain, we too face what we find the scariest, because perhaps together, if we can embrace our fears, we can conquer them once and for all. Thank you so much for joining me today, and have a wonderful rest of the afternoon.